radical people who use Islam in order to subjugate Jews, Christians, and other Muslims who do not share the same ideas as they do.
So, Dr. Kedar, since your analysis that the Hamas is committed to their doctrine, not just the covenant, but their theological Islamic doctrines for the ultimate obliteration of Jews in Israel, since that's true, what is your view as to what Israel should do over the next 30, 60, 90 days with this war against Hamas?
Well, we plan to be here beyond 90 days. So we have to put our strategy together now. The strategy vis-a-vis Hamas should be deterrence, because deterrence is the only thing which can work in the Middle East. And what I mean by deterrence is a credible threat which will be constantly above the connection between the heads and the shoulders of the heads of Hamas. This is the most important thing for them, and Israel should be in an ability to target this connection at any given time when they violate the agreements which we might reach with them. And this is the only thing which works in this unfortunate region named the Middle East. So this is the only way which Israel can survive in this region, by showing to its neighbors that for their own good, they should leave Israel alone. We don't want them, and we don't need them as buyers of our products. Anyway, they don't have the money to do this. And in the Middle East, as you know, peace is given only to the invincible. And this is the only peace which Israel can expect to have in this region. However, I must say that according to the Islamic tradition, there is a way to give a temporary peace to the infidels when the Muslims cannot defeat them. This is based on the precedent of the Hudaybiyah peace, which the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, gave to the infidels of Mecca a peace for 9 years, 9 days, and 9 years, 9 months, and 9 days. But he violated this peace after 2 years when he saw that the infidels of Mecca went to sleep on guard. So this is what the precedent teaches them, that as long as they cannot defeat the infidels, they can give them peace, temporary peace. And they are allowed to violate this peace when Allah gives them the opportunity and the ability to breach this agreement. So we can reach an agreement with our neighbors, but we have to keep a very open eye in order to make sure that they keep the peace with us based on deterrence, because there is no other thing which can preserve this peace between Israel and its neighbors.
And as one of the top analysts operating in Israel on these geopolitical and military affairs, those are words well worth heeded by not only your administration, but administrations all around. One last thing, and we got 30 seconds left. We have Khalid Mashal out in Qatar, cheering on his fighters to go fight these Zionist pigs and all of that, while he's sipping nice drinks in the protection of beautiful hotels. Take 30 seconds and share a short message in Arabic, if you will, with the Palestinians regarding this disconnect, their leader enjoying the life of comfort and them, being on the front lines of a war. Just take 30 seconds and share that in the language, if you will.
I will do it in both Arabic and English, with your permission.
Okay.
Khalid Mash'al ya Azizi. Oh, my dear Khalid Mash'al. أنت في الفنادق وشعبك في غزة في الخنادق. You are in the hotels and they are in the ditches, in the dirt. ارحمهم. ارحم غزة. ارحم شعب غزة. ارحم الفلسطينيين. Have mercy on them. Have mercy on Gaza. Have mercy on the Palestinians. And this is now an Eid, means festive, the Eid al-Fitr. أعطيهم العيد، فرحة العيد، أعد لهم فرحة العيد بعد أن دمرت قطاع غزة وأهل غزة في هذه الحرب الضروس التي أعلنتها على الإسرائيليين. Please give them some way to live in Gaza. Bring them some hope in this festive, and bring them some prosperity which they deserve. And I think that if he gets this message, maybe he will start thinking in terms of construction, of education, of prosperity, rather than destruction to destroy Israel, which will bring about the destruction of Gaza, no doubt.
Okay, Dr. Kedar, thank you very, very much. We will be back to you in the future to get your thoughts and insights on this complex situation, but we all agree Hamas needs to be destroyed. Thank you very much. Take care now.
Thank you.
I tell you, I can listen to Dr. Mordechai Kedar forever. He's got tremendous insight. In fact, on our last fact-finding mission to Israel last October, he was one of our featured speakers in the evening. And in this trip coming up in November, and we are going, folks, war or no war, sign up. We're going to Israel. We will be meeting with Dr. Kedar there also. It's just amazing to have an expert like that explaining all of this stuff. Well, we also have our own homegrown experts here. Let's go to the northeast of the United States to Dr. Andy Bostom. He is a good friend of our show, has been on many times. Andy Bostom is a physician, a medical doctor. He's taken his research skills, and in 2005, he wrote The Legacy of Jihad, a little pamphlet, 700-page book, folks, analyzing the legacy of Islamic Jihad. Then in 2008, he wrote The Legacy of Islamic Anti-Semitism, over 700 pages. He's an individual who understands the Arabic issues, the jihad issues, the theocratic issues, the geopolitical issues. Dr. Andy Bostom, CBS recently interviewed the head of Hamas, Khalid Mashal, and Charlie Rose asked him a bunch of interesting questions. Basically, Mashal said that this war in Gaza right now indicates to the whole world that it's time for Israel to stop the siege, the occupation of Gaza. Help us understand what Mashal is saying to the Arabs and what he's saying to the West by statements like that.
Well, yeah, it's very simple. On March 23rd of this year, which marked the 10th anniversary of the assassination of the so-called spiritual leader of Hamas, Sheikh Ahmed Yassin, he made a typical speech where he claimed that Hamas needed to reestablish the balance of terror in their favor, and that they were going to rock Tel Aviv. And you heard the crowds chanting. And he went the same goal for which our leaders died. I mean, so he also actually made a veiled reference, or maybe not so veiled, to the tunnel system. He said, from below ground and above ground, you, the occupiers, will be dismissed. And of course, Israel left Gaza in 2005. But there was this reference to, below ground. And now we know there's this massive network of tunnels, which was designed to inflict enormous casualties on Israeli non-combatants.
Well, on that same interview, CBS, Mashal also says, he's the head of Hamas, he also says that, yes, it could be possible for the Hamas, for the Palestinians to live peaceably alongside the Jews, but not as occupiers. What is their view of occupation, and how should the liberal West understand this concept of a siege or an occupation by Israel?
Well, it's very clear if you look at the Hamas covenant, its founding documents, and founding documents are critical in all these discussions, whether it's Hamas, whether it's Fatah. It's clear that any area, including going all the way back to the 1949 armistice borders, is considered occupied. So what he's really saying, and again, the covenant makes this clear, is that, sure, once there's a successful jihad to destroy the Israeli government and subjugate the Jews per the Sharia, as was the status through the end of the Ottoman period, then they could all get along swimmingly.